The aftermath of the 2025 Malaysian Grand Prix has left the MotoGP paddock in turmoil, following a dramatic incident that saw Francesco Bagnaia retire from a race he was leading due to a rear tyre failure. Michelin's tyre boss, Piero Taramasso, has since broken his silence, and his explanation has added even more intrigue to an already tense weekend at Sepang. The Ducati Lenovo team rider looked poised to take a crucial victory on Sunday, having dominated the early stages of the race under the blazing Malaysian sun. Bagnaia launched strongly from the front row, establishing a commanding rhythm ahead of Pedro Acosta and Alex Marquez, who both stayed glued to his tail throughout the opening laps. However, midway through the 20-lap contest, spectators began to notice something unusual. Bagnaia's pace gradually dropped, his Mercedes GP25 losing rear grip in key acceleration zones. What initially seemed like a setup issue soon turned into a full-blown disaster. With just 3 laps remaining, the Italian's rear end suddenly stepped out under braking a moment of instability that forced him into the pits. Moments later, Ducati confirmed the worst. A rear tyre puncture had ended his race. Speaking after the race, Piero Taramasso of Michelin provided clarity on the situation. "We found a clear puncture in the centre of the rear tyre," Taramasso revealed. "There was an actual hole, most likely caused by a piece of carbon debris that pierced the surface. It was an unfortunate and isolated case, but one that had a major impact on the race outcome." The revelation, however, did little to calm tensions inside the Ducati garage. Sources from within the paddock described Bagnaia as visibly furious, slamming his gloves onto the workbench as engineers scrambled to inspect the damaged tyre. One mechanic reportedly said the atmosphere was like a bomb ready to go off, as team members debated whether external debris or a manufacturing defect was to blame. For Bagnaia, the consequences were devastating. His 0-point finish dropped him to 4th in the championship standings, now 5 points adrift of Marco Bezzecchi, who leapfrogged into 3rd after a consistent ride to P5. The two champions' frustration is understandable. The title race remains incredibly tight, and every point counts as the season nears its finale. Meanwhile, the race itself saw Alex Marquez secure a stunning victory for Gresini Racing, capitalizing on the chaos to take his 2nd win of the season. Pedro Acosta showcased his trademark composure to claim 2nd, while Joan Mir, delivering a long-overdue performance, rounded off the podium in 3rd. From a technical standpoint, this incident reignites the debate over tyre durability and the balance between performance and reliability. Sepang's abrasive surface, combined with extreme temperatures, has always been a stern test for both tyres and riders. While Michelin's control over consistency has generally been excellent throughout 2025, a single high-profile failure, especially affecting a title contender, inevitably raises questions. Analytically, Bagnaia's situation mirrors the growing unpredictability of MotoGP's modern era. With machinery now closely matched across manufacturers, small variables like tyre pressure, debris, or track temperature can dramatically alter the outcome of a race. The fact that a potential victory was lost to a puncture rather than a mistake or setup flaw will only fuel Ducati's frustration. As the championship heads towards its final rounds, the psychological toll on Bagnaia could be significant. He's known for his mental resilience, but this setback, coming at such a crucial point in the title fight, might test that composure more than ever. Ducati too will demand answers from Michelin, as they cannot afford a repeat incident in the remaining races. One thing is certain, the 2025 Malaysian GP will be remembered not for the winner's triumph, but for the chaos it unleashed behind the scenes. The paddock remains divided. Was this an unavoidable freak incident, or a sign that something deeper is amiss with tyre management this season? Only time, and the next few Grand Prix, will tell. In the aftermath of the incident, Michelin engineers conducted a full forensic inspection of Bagnaia's damaged rear tyre at their mobile facility inside the Sepang paddock. The analysis reportedly included X-ray scans and surface mapping to determine whether the puncture originated internally or was indeed caused by debris. Early findings supported Taramasso's statement, pointing to an external penetration rather than a structural failure. However, Ducati insiders were still unconvinced, demanding that the tyre manufacturer share detailed telemetry data for cross-verification. What complicates the matter further is the inconsistency of track debris management at Sepang. Several riders had already complained about loose fragments on the racing line, particularly after multiple bikes went down during Moto2 qualifying. Race direction had ordered a sweep of the circuit prior to the MotoGP race, yet it now appears that a small fragment may have escaped detection, a factor that could have cost Bagnaia dearly. Bagnaia's personal reaction, although visibly emotional, was reportedly measured once he faced the media. In the post-race press briefing, he refrained from directly criticizing Michelin, instead choosing to highlight the unpredictability of racing. "We all push to the limit," he said calmly. "Sometimes things happen that are beyond our control. It's painful, especially when you know you had the pace to win, but we move on. That's racing." Even so, sources close to Ducati suggest there is growing unease behind closed doors. The Italian squad had entered Malaysia with strong momentum, having found significant gains in corner exit grip after the latest aero and chassis updates. Losing a guaranteed podium and possibly a win to a non-racing issue has disrupted that rhythm and injected tension into the team's otherwise confident atmosphere. Meanwhile, several rival riders voiced their sympathy for Bagnaia while quietly expressing concern about tyre reliability in high heat conditions. Pedro Acosta noted that he too had felt unusual rear movement in the final laps, though his tyres held together. "It's always a fine balance at Sepang," he explained. "The heat, the load and the constant stress on the rear, it's brutal. You're managing both the race and the rubber at every corner." From a strategic viewpoint, the incident could also reshape the upcoming title battle narrative. With only a handful of races remaining, every mechanical issue now carries championship-altering consequences. Bagnaia's misfortune, coupled with Alex Marquez's resurgence, has thrown a new variable into the mix, one that could open opportunities for riders like Bezzecchi. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the drama behind the 2025 Malaysian Grand Prix and want more expert MotoGP insights, exclusive paddock analysis, and race breakdowns like this, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for all the latest updates from the world of MotoGP.